right, Kev, here we go. You ready?
I am.
All right, you're supposed to sing the opening theme song. You want to give me something so they can put this on video? So sing something for me, like the Greatest American Hero theme or something along those lines.
Oh, man, you're catching me off guard here. Had I known I needed to prepare something, I would have.
That's the idea. That's the idea. If I had you think about it, you would have had a script written, right? So Kevin Basquill, welcome to the show. This is our first Blabbing with Entrepreneurs. The concept here is that, as you know, we sit out in the marketing field, and I get a chance to talk to a lot of up-and-comers, a lot of small business owners, big business owners, people from all walks of life. And so you and I, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this. I figure it's gonna be 15, 20 minutes of conversation, and then at the end, if there's people in and they want to ask questions pertaining to the audio, video industry or anything they hear you talking about, we'll open it up. We'll open the seats up and kind of do like a hot seat thing and have you answer questions on behalf of Delcosolutions. We'll go through that, and then, we're going to have a little bit of fun, man. You and I have known each other for how long now?
Well, I guess it'll be, 2 years about?
Has it been that long, dude?
Year and a half. I'll be up there 2 years this October, so.
So why don't you tell everybody how we met? I think most people have heard this ad nauseum.
Match.com. So.
Match.com. But then where was our first date?
At Paul Bunyan CrossFit. So me and Gene do CrossFit together, which I'm sure everyone assumes is a cult, and that's how we met each other. But, you do become friends with the people you work out with there. And for me, it's been a good opportunity to kind of do some business as well. So, but became good friends with Gene, working out together a lot up there.
Yeah, and actually, this is the second time I'm actually seeing you today. We just we had a little workout scrum a little earlier today, right?
Yeah.
And I smoked you. You can tell them; they know.
I'll give it to you since this is your show.
and that's actually not true. I'm one of the laggers. But listen. I got a good. How old are you now? 36.
34. How dare you?
Oh my god! I'm a lot older than you. I thought I was 4 years older than you. Turns out I'm 6
see,
years
it's
older than
even better then, right?
Well, listen, it's not going to be better when I finally beat you in these races, because then you got to look up to the old man, right? So here's the deal, brother. So let's really talk. I mean, you and I have gotten to know each other a little bit. We have some business on the side with each other. I guess let me ask you some of the regular questions. From Kevin's perspective. First of all, how long has Delcosolutions been around?
So we started Delcosolutions in February of 2012. I actually have two other partners involved, Doug Murray and William Severa, or Billy. It's what he goes by, and he's one of our lead installers. But I've actually been in the business since, I guess, December of, I want to go back to like 2000, 2001. Started doing work on the side for the Archdiocese and worked for them full time as well, and did some stuff on the weekends and at night. And it just started kind of growing into something more. And initially I started the company as Delco Consulting Group. And in February of 2012, I took on a partner with the business, which was Doug Murray, and actually one other partner, which was Bill Severa. And we changed the name to Delcosolutions. And we used to kind of focus on AV and IT, and kind of took the business now and just fully focus it on audio video. About 90% of our customer base is education. We do a lot of K-12 stuff, some higher ed business, and we're trying to kind of grow our corporate business right now.
So talk to me a little bit. You use some acronyms, and while I'm familiar with some of them, like the whole IT thing and obviously AV, just for folks that are not keen to that, give me a little idea of what that covers.
So for us, when I say, a lot of our business is K-12, which is education, but audio video in the classrooms, I'm sure, most people are probably familiar at this point with the interactive classroom, which is, your smart boards, projectors, sound systems, a lot of bringing your own device stuff and having the capability to utilize that in the classroom. So we'll go in and we'll install the projectors. We'll do staff development, which is training for the teachers. But a lot of our work really does kind of focus around education right now. We'll do security camera systems, access control systems, which is your key fobs, door locks, You see a lot of the students now that are carrying their ID cards. They can kind of swipe them to gain access to the building. We do data wiring for, your computer labs. I know a lot of people see things going wireless, but people still like to have a wired network in their buildings. Do a lot of wireless networking as well, especially with everybody increasing their devices that students are bringing in. A lot of these schools now have kids bringing in their iPads, their iPhones, their, Android devices and things like that. So we have to go in and kind of help work with the schools on taking on that much of a build on their network,
So location-wise, I mean, I know, for the folks that don't know where we're in southeastern PA. Give us some of the geographies that you cover out there. Obviously, you cover Delco, which is Delaware County. What else?
Yeah, so I mean, we do PA, Jersey, and Delaware, but I mean, based on what the project is, we're willing to kind of go anywhere. And we've done some stuff out in Pittsburgh. We've gone down to Washington. I mean, if the work is there and it's worth the commute and you can kind of make it work, we're happy to go and do it. The things that we do now where it's one classroom, two classroom, that's more local, stuff that's kind of just within the tri-state area makes a little more sense for us. But larger projects, something that might be higher ed where they're willing to put a lot more into one classroom makes that trip worthwhile, or an auditorium type project where it's a higher end projector, control system, screen. It just kind of has to be worth the commute for us to go and do that job.
So, okay, that makes sense. Now, I got to touch on a couple subjects here that I know the people out there are wondering about. Number one, are you wearing pants? That's number one. We briefly discussed that you may or may not have a pair of pants on right now. So
I'm not going to lie. I'm actually just wearing a nice shirt. So
is that a shirt or is it a dickie?
I don't plan on getting up during this interview.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad to know that. And the second part of it was I posted all this stuff out, and I said that you had an unhealthy love of cats. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your cat love or cat fetish?
I honestly have no love for cats.
No love? You just shut this whole webinar.
No, and hopefully no one that's watching this even likes cats, because I'd like them to leave right now.
Listen, you can't do that to the people. That's terrible. I don't see it. Nobody's giving you any props right now. I'm going to give myself.
Is that what those little hand icons are down there? Oh, there goes a prop. There we go. One big cat hater out there.
There we go. Listen, look over to the right of the screen.
I see it.
That's beautiful. So I think, your lovely wife, by the way, you are the true definition of out kicking your coverage. I know your wife. And
I think thank you.
What's that?
I think thank you.
No. Well, you married up, so you're a pretty good salesman. You must have tricked her. But she says to me on social media last night, "Are you sure he said cats, or do you think he meant Kate?" And there's just one letter difference. It may have been your unhealthy love for Kate. So
that's fair. That'll give you. But my love for cats does not exist.
Actually, I seem to remember you posting something about cats on your social.
Oh my God.
Why don't you tell us about that real quick?
So Gene's company does all of our social media, and they kept posting this some weird picture of a cat, and every time I would go on, I'm like, what, it's nice because I'll log into Facebook and I see posts from my company, and it's awesome to see, see these new things popping up and saying, oh, this is great, new things happening with Delco. And then I keep seeing this picture of some cat, and I take it down, and a couple days later I go back and it's back up there. And I initially thought one of the guys that works for me did it as a joke. So I finally reached out to Gene. I'm like, Gene, what is this cat thing, man? I got to get rid of this. I'm like, I hate cats.
Well, so wait, listen, I got to dig back in because you got to understand how that played out. And I think we had this conversation. My team put together these GIFs, these pictures, sort of like one in the right-hand corner of the business cat, I think his name is, right? There's this phenomenon with this business cat where he's wearing a tie, and she calls me and she says, these things get a lot of engagement on social media. Do you have a client that you think would like us to use it? And I said, well, Kevin Basquill's a little twisted. I think he would probably love it. And I just did it without asking permission. And sure enough, 2 days later, I get the phone call like, take the cats down. Take the cats down.
Of all animals, you could have put any animal up there and I'd have been fine with it.
Well, they're in the process of putting a horse up there right now for you. So I'm glad you said
I love horses. Can I get some props?
Here, I'm going to give you some. Nobody else's. Here we go. All right. So listen. So the one thing we wanted to do when we start this show is, first off, tell everybody where they can reach you real quick.
So my email is kevin@delco-solutions.com. You can also www.delco-solutions.com. And I'll throw our phone number out there, even though all that info is on our website, but 800-582-2150.
That's good. And then this is really where we got the show started. I was less concerned with people's businesses than I was with how they got there. Being an entrepreneur myself, I know how hard it can be at times, and I know how sometimes I wake up and think I'm crazy, and I know my wife wants to kill me, and there's so many things with being an entrepreneur that make it tough on a day-to-day basis. What got you into it? Why did you start your own business? And well, let's start there. Why did you start your own business?
So, and I know I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. So when I was about 19 or 20 and I was working for the Archdiocese, I was working at Archbishop Bryant High School as their technology director within the school. And this was kind of right as everything was really happening with technology in the classrooms. Wireless was becoming a thing, projectors in the classrooms, getting rid of the old school overhead projectors that they used to wheel into the classroom. And I did all these different things within Archbishop Bryant. And I was approached by somebody who worked downtown that said, hey, look, I have another school that's looking to do what you're doing at Archbishop Bryant. They don't have a lot of money. Can you help them out? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Go take a look at it. So at the time, I think there was close to 200 schools in the Archdiocese before they started closing them down. And just started kind of working on the weekends and working at night, doing data wiring and installing projectors and doing some PC support stuff. And from there, I was still doing everything on the side, but I had an opportunity to go to work for Lockheed Martin. So I worked for Lockheed Martin for about 2 years. I was doing the cubicle life where, you're just trapped in a cube 10 hours, and I was doing 10-hour work days so I could have Fridays off. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not sitting in this cube for the next, 30 years and, no windows, no idea what's going on around you, and just not wanting to be stuck in the same spot all day. And just finally said, you know what, I have enough business outside with the Archdiocese. I wasn't happy that they were really my only customer, kind of having all my eggs in one basket. If something went wrong with the diocese, you lose all of your income. And, just kind of said, you know what, I'm done with this. I gave my notice and just started doing it full time. And, kept pretty busy for a few years, and then just saw an opportunity with Doug Murray, who was unhappy with the audio video company that he was working for. And actually at the time, there became this huge crossover of AV and IT. A lot of these systems are now becoming network-based, where you can control your system over your network. Everyone's seeing a lot of these things now with home automation and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that we're more involved with in the commercial world. We're not looking for residential business. So it became a great opportunity for the two of us to start working together with all of his AV knowledge and my networking and IT background, that we were able to kind of, build our business up right now. I mean, there's 7 employees right now with Delcosolutions. There's 3 of us doing sales. 1 person does design and programming, and then we have 3 full-time installers. And I mean, it was the best move I could have made. I'm happy that I left. I'm happy to be on my own. I mean, it's everyone says it's great to be your own boss, and it is, but there is a lot of stress involved with that as well. And you have all these people that are kind of relying on you to make sure that you keep them busy every day, that there's work out there. You don't want to not have stuff for people to do, lay someone off. So you're kind of out there just making sure that you can sell and that, everyone's happy, and you want it to be a good company to work for as well. So.
Well, I know you're tied into the community, and I know that there's a lot of things that you do for the municipality around here. There's, we have some mutual friends that are, how would you say, without putting them out there? Servants.
Well, even for that, I mean, with trying to escape the education world and get more involved in other business. For example, with the access control stuff, we just did some work with the Newtown Square Police Department. We did their access control for their door that the police officers came in and out on a daily basis. It's where they constantly come in and out. They had an old push button keypad for their door. Set them up with a nice key fob so they can track who's coming and going. We're also they're looking to make some updates over there to the building, so I'm meeting with their engineer just to go over some design ideas for how the new wiring structure should be laid out and kind of help them with that whole build out there. So, and that's actually that's a relationship that I built from CrossFit too. So
yeah, there's been a lot of relationships built through CrossFit.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. We have a lot of synergies there.
Yeah, there's I mean, between you doing our social media, we have Peterson Insurance, Chuck Peterson, that does all of our business insurance now. Joe Catania, who handles all of our legal stuff. Chris Lunn, who has truly been an inspiration to me. Amazing guy.
You call him, what's his nickname? The Chief?
What's that? Sorry, you're sounding a little low to me here.
His nickname is the Chief?
The Chief of Police, yes.
Right. So, well, listen, the one last thing I want to talk to you about real quick, and then we can kind of open it up for questions if anybody wants to talk to really either of us about our journey. But if you could go back to 22-year-old Kevin when you started, as an entrepreneur, are there 2 or 3 things that you would really, and I'm doing this slow so you have time to let it materialize. Are there 2 or 3 things that you would tell the new or budding entrepreneur to either do regularly or stay away from in order to be successful? I mean, for me, I could tell you 40 things not to do because I do them on a daily basis and it holds me back, I do a lot of social media online. Thankfully, that's part of my business, because if it wasn't, I would just be wasting time hand over fist. But is there stuff that you would recommend or advice that you could give to the new entrepreneur or even the seasoned entrepreneur that's helped you get to where you're at? Because I can tell you, just watching you from the outside and watching you from, inside the gym and knowing your family and all the people that you surround yourself with, you've been very successful. And your business it's not a joke. It's like you said, 7 employees is nothing to shake a stick at. So you've done the right things, and I'd love to be able to impart some of that stuff onto people listening. So is there anything there that you could think of?
I don't know that I would necessarily go back and change anything that I did to kind of get me to where I am today. And, you figure all those things that you did make you who you are. But I think not really being afraid to make certain moves, things that you hesitate to do. Like I said, when I was leaving, it was a big deal for me to leave Lockheed Martin at that time, because I thought to myself, what if something happens with this archdiocesan business? And clients are going to come and go. I don't want that to happen. Really big on relationship based customers, but just really not being afraid to make the moves that you need to. I mean, so it ends up working out.
Would you consider yourself a risk taker?
To an extent. I kind of, I guess, took a risk in a sense with, I invested in Blush Salon. I was approached to become a partner there, and, it was a cousin of mine that wanted to open her own salon, and it approached me and said, I really want to do this. I'm like, it seems like a good idea. I liked everything about it, took a chunk of money and put it into it. I think that's the stuff that makes you an entrepreneur or a risk taker. I think entrepreneurs are risk takers, right? I mean, we're the ones that are out there saying, I'll take my money and my time and I'll gamble on this. And that's the stuff that I think it's cool to do that. I like being able to do that and say, hey, look, if it doesn't work out, you lost the money, but you gave it a shot. So you're never going to know unless you try.
That's true. That is true. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm opening up the seat here. In the meantime, let's regroup, recap. If you want to talk to Kevin, get at him on Twitter at Delcosolutions, or you can visit www.delco-solutions.com. If you want to get with me, you can get me at on Twitter at Gene Volpe or at GeneVolpe.com as well. I opened up the seat. If anybody wants to join, feel free to jump in. If not, we can wrap this sucker right on up. We'll give it a minute or two. But anyway, did you see my text message today, Kevin, about the Eagles game tonight?
I did, yeah.
and you're yin or you're out.
I'll be honest now. I know it won't happen with all the stuff I still have to run out to do. I won't make it. I wish I could. I'm jealous of you guys. I am. I wish I could do that, but
you haven't mentioned anything about my shine here.
No, you know what? I think you may have you powdered up or up right there's the shine right there. The first podcast Gene did, he had a video up, and I logged in to watch it, and I could see everything going on his computer with the reflection coming off that head. But it was nice. It was like a behind the scenes tour.
What's that?
I said it was nice seeing that reflection. It was like a behind the scenes tour.
I hope you really didn't get to see what it was that I had on that computer. Well, listen, Kevin, I want to thank you very much for joining me. I know I didn't really give you a lot of information on this.
No, I would do it again. This was fun. So